And with that said, what is your favorite Jodie Foster project?
So my first movie, Little Man Tate.
You're damn good at that. What can we...
You know, a lot of legends when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball, I think, was the scary
What
one.
did you do with Lucille Ball?
Jodie Foster learned French before she mastered Hollywood. Cinema shaped her from childhood. She attended Lycée Français in Los Angeles.
The leader is going to hang on to it as an insurance policy to keep you from seeking revenge.
French New Wave films played on her mother's television. Truffaut, Godard, Varda. These filmmakers taught her that movies could be art, not just entertainment. They showed her intimacy. They revealed the truth in small gestures. Foster became fluent in 2 languages, French and film. She started acting at 3 years old. But she didn't just perform, she studied. She watched masters work. She learned from legends. Robert De Niro taught her craft on Taxi Driver's set. Martin Scorsese showed her cinema's power. The Deer Hunter changed her forever. One scene, the Russian roulette sequence, made her weep in the theater. She knew then that film could transform lives. This isn't a list of Foster's greatest performances. It's the opposite. These are the movies that made her.
They loved Bugsy Malone because that's what they saw when they were kids. They didn't really see any of my movies, so they saw Bugsy Malone, maybe Freaky Friday, but that was about it. So they loved that one.
The films that taught her how to act, how to observe, how to find truth in fiction. From war epics to intimate character studies, each one planted seeds. Some are classics everyone knows. Others remain hidden treasures. Together, they map the artistic education of one of cinema's finest minds. 10. The 400 Blows, 1959. François Truffaut's masterpiece arrived like lightning. A boy runs through Paris streets. Antoine Doinel escapes school, family, society itself. The camera follows him with tenderness and fury. Truffaut films childhood without sentiment. He shows loneliness. He captures rebellion. The final freeze frame stops time. A boy staring at the ocean, trapped between freedom and nowhere to go. Foster discovered this film young. Her mother, a Francophile, introduced her to New Wave cinema. The 400 Blows taught her that small stories matter most. Truffaut didn't need explosions or melodrama. He needed truth. One child's pain reflected universal experience. The handheld camera felt urgent. The black and white photography created poetry from Paris gutters. This film showed Foster what cinema could achieve. It proved that movies about real people, struggling with ordinary problems, contain more power than spectacle. She learned that observing closely matters more than performing loudly. Truffaut's empathy for his young protagonist, himself really, demonstrated how personal stories become universal art. This lesson guided Foster's entire career. 9. On the Waterfront. 1954, Elia Kazan crafted brutal poetry. Marlon Brando's Terry Malloy stumbles through moral awakening. I Could Have Been a Contender became cinema's most famous lament.
I couldn't find you. Said no one won't believe me.
But the whole film breathes with lived-in authenticity. Brando doesn't act. He exists. Every gesture feels discovered, not rehearsed. Karl Malden and Eva Marie Saint orbit around him, equally real. Brando became one of Foster's heroes. She studied how he disappeared into roles. On the Waterfront shows his method at peak power. Terry Malloy thinks slowly. He speaks haltingly. He moves like a damaged animal seeking light. The performance taught Foster that great acting requires absolute commitment to interior life. Audiences must see thought happening. Kazan's camera captures New York's docks with documentary precision. The film feels ripped from newspapers. Real longshoremen populate the background. Real violence threatens every scene. This combination, Brando's revolutionary performance inside Kazan's neorealist framework, created something unprecedented. Foster learned that authenticity requires both technique and truth. You must master craft to serve honesty. 8. Casablanca, 1942. Humphrey Bogart's Rick Blaine perfected masculine vulnerability. He plays cynical, he performs detachment, but love and principle break through his armor.
Major Strasser is one of the reasons the Third Reich enjoys the reputation it has today.
Michael Curtis directed this Warner Brothers programmer into accidental perfection. Every line became quotable. Every scene achieved iconic status. Ingrid Bergman brought European sophistication. Their chemistry burned through the screen. Foster admired Bogart deeply. She recognized how he made stoicism emotional. Rick doesn't cry. He doesn't shout. Yet audiences feel everything churning beneath his surface. That restraint created enormous power. Bogart taught her that what actors don't show matters as much as what they reveal. The performance exists in pauses, in glances, in words left unspoken. Casablanca also demonstrated Hollywood's golden age craftsmanship. Perfect lighting, flawless editing, dialogue that sings. The film operates as pure entertainment while smuggling in serious themes. Sacrifice, duty, lost love. Foster appreciated this balance. She learned that commercial cinema and artistic expression need not conflict. Great movies can do both simultaneously. 7. Cool Hand Luke, 1967. Paul Newman embodied American defiance. Luke refuses to break. Prison can't crush him. Authority can't bend him. What we got here is failure to communicate became the rebellion's anthem.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Newman played the role with devastating charisma. His blue eyes radiate intelligence and stubbornness. The egg-eating scene shows an actor willing to suffer for authenticity. Newman ranked among Foster's favorite actors. She studied his economy. He never overplayed moments. Luke smiles through punishment. He jokes about facing violence. But Newman lets us see the cost. The performance balances toughness with fragility. By the film's end, when the system finally destroys him, we've watched idealism die slowly. Director Stuart Rosenberg captured the American South's oppressive heat. The chain gang scenes feel genuinely brutal. Foster learned how physical detail creates emotional truth. Newman's exhaustion becomes our exhaustion. His final broken state was devastating because we watched every blow land. The film taught her that suffering must be earned, not indicated. 6. Breathless, 1960. Jean-Luc Godard shattered cinema's rules. Jump cuts, breaking the fourth wall. Characters who talk like real people.
Eh bien, c'est gazé absolument pas.
Gazé, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Elles étaient très jolies.
Breathless announced that movies could operate differently. Jean-Paul Belmondo's petty criminal races through Paris with Jean Seberg. They talk endlessly. They do very little. Yet every frame crackles with energy and new possibilities. This film represented everything Foster loved about French cinema. Godard trusted audiences. He didn't explain. He didn't moralize. He observed two people living recklessly. The handheld camera creates documentary intimacy. Paris becomes a character. The black and white photography makes every shadow meaningful. Godard proved that style and substance could merge completely. Foster absorbed Godard's radical approach to narrative. Scenes aren't built traditionally. Moments exist for their own beauty. The editing creates rhythm through disruption. This freedom influenced how she later approached her own directing. She learned that breaking conventions requires understanding them first. Godard knew classical cinema before he demolished it. 5. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. 1974, Martin Scorsese directed Foster at age 12.
Want eggs?
Yeah, ham and eggs.
Ham and eggs. Okay, how about trays?
Everybody!
Ellen Burstyn plays Alice, a widow rebuilding life with her young son. The film follows her journey from New Mexico to California, seeking dreams while facing harsh reality. Burstyn won the Oscar, but the whole film breathes with Scorsese's compassion for struggling people. Foster had a small role, but working with Scorsese changed everything. She watched him direct. She saw his preparation. She learned how deeply directors must understand actors. Scorsese created space for improvisation. He pushed for emotional truth. He refused easy sentimentality. Alice's journey feels messy and real because Scorsese honors complexity. This experience prepared Foster for Taxi Driver 2 years later. Scorsese trusted her abilities. He treated her like a serious artist, not a child performer. The film taught her that great cinema explores ordinary lives with extraordinary depth. Alice's small triumphs and failures matter because Scorsese films them with respect and precision. 4. The Accused, 1988. Jonathan Kaplan's brutal drama gave Foster her first Oscar. Sarah Tobias survives gang rape. Then she faces courtroom trauma. The system questions her character, her clothes, her behavior.
What the hell are you talking about? You saw me at the hospital. What do you think I asked for that? Is that what you think?
Kaplan films the assault unflinchingly. He shows how society victimizes survivors twice. Foster's performance burns with rage and vulnerability. This role transformed Foster's adult career. She fought for the part. She knew Sarah's story mattered. The performance required exposing herself completely. Foster shows Sarah's working-class toughness and deep wounds simultaneously. She doesn't play victim or hero. She plays a complicated woman demanding justice in a system designed to silence her. The film taught Foster about cinema's responsibility. Movies can change conversations. The Accused forced audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about violence and accountability. She learned that entertainment and social purpose could coexist. Sometimes the hardest stories need telling most urgently. This conviction guided her later work. 3. Taxi Driver, 1976. Scorsese's masterpiece defined Foster's adolescence.
Oh, Iris. My name is Travis.
At 12, she played Iris, a child sex worker. Robert De Niro's Travis Bickle tries rescuing her from hell. The role required psychological evaluation. A social worker verified Foster understood the material. Her sister doubled for some scenes. Yet Foster's performance contains devastating maturity. De Niro taught her acting fundamentals. They rehearsed extensively. He showed her how to build character from inside out. Foster learned that preparation creates freedom. Know everything about your character, then improvise from knowledge. The famous diner scene, Iris and Travis talking,
treated me bad. I mean, he didn't beat me up or anything like that once.
But you can't allow him to do the same to other girls.
crackles because both actors lived completely inside their roles. Taxi Driver taught Foster that cinema could be art. Scorsese composed frames like paintings. Bernard Herrmann's score created operatic dread. The whole film operates as a fever dream and social commentary simultaneously. Foster understood then that movies at their best achieve poetry. She devoted her career to serving that standard. 2. The Silence of the Lambs. 1991, Jonathan Demme gave Foster her greatest role. Clarice Starling hunts serial killers while confronting FBI sexism and her own traumatic past. Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter dominates attention.
Closer.
But Foster carries the film's emotional weight. Every scene shows Clarice thinking, adapting, surviving. She's terrified and brilliant simultaneously. Foster prepared obsessively. She visited FBI facilities. She studied female agents. She built Clarice's backstory completely. The accent, the posture, the determination masking vulnerability. Demme filmed Foster in intense close-ups. We see every thought cross her face. The performance requires absolute transparency. Foster delivers it fearlessly. This film validated everything Foster believed about character. Clarice isn't superhuman. She's smart and scared, tough and damaged. The role allowed Foster to demonstrate her full range. She could play intelligently without being cold, strength without invulnerability. The second Oscar confirmed what she already knew. Complex women make great protagonists. 1. The Deer Hunter, 1978. Michael Cimino's Vietnam epic changed Foster's life. She sat in a theater weeping. The Russian roulette scene destroyed her. Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and John Savage passed the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Each click of the chamber cements their bond while threatening death. Foster said she knew then she'd never be the same. This film showed cinema's absolute power. Cimino didn't just depict war, he showed how war devours souls. The first hour establishes a Pennsylvania steel town. We meet these men, we attended their wedding, we understand their friendships. Then Vietnam tears everything apart. The structure makes the tragedy unbearable. The Deer Hunter taught Foster that great films require patience and courage. Cimino takes 3 hours to tell his story. He doesn't rush. He doesn't simplify. The Russian roulette scenes are disturbing because we know these characters deeply. Their suffering becomes our suffering. Foster learned that emotional truth requires time and commitment. This remained her favorite film, the one that proved cinema could achieve what no other art form could. Pure, devastating humanity. These films built Jodie Foster's artistic foundation. From French New Wave intimacy to Hollywood's Golden Age craftsmanship, from Brando's revolution to De Niro's precision. Each one taught her something essential. Together they created a masterclass. Small movies about real people. That's what changed her life. That's what she carried forward. Which film on this list changed your life? Tell us in the comments below. And subscribe for more deep dives into cinema's greatest artists and the movies that shaped them.